I'm done. I'm done. If you're just gonna troll me like that.
I'm not trolling. People like Tucker Carlson and Donald Trump made massive claims about Dominion and voter fraud, but when they brought that to court, they lost again, and they lost $800 million. Fox News even fired Tucker Carlson after text came out saying he didn't believe the election fraud himself.
That whole lawsuit between Dominion Machine and Fox News is a fake lawsuit.
Why? How so?
How so? Who's behind Dominion Machine? George Soros, globalist. Who owns Fox News? Rupert Murdoch, another globalist. Do you believe that two globalists met behind closed doors, settled out of court, behind closed doors for nobody to hear, for $787 million to the weaponized DOJ, FBI, CIA against President Trump with zero evidence, zero convictions, because they're even manufacturing crimes against, they're manufacturing, they're trying to make up evidence, okay?
When it comes to the 91 indictments, right? When it comes to the 90...
All fake, all fake.
All fake? Yeah. So we have phone...
Have you watched the trials?
I have. There's phone calls of Trump calling Brad Raffensperger.
No.
Have you heard the phone call of Trump calling Raffensperger?
No, I didn't hear that one, so really? I can't comment on it.
It's an incredibly famous phone call. Trump calls Brad Raffensperger, who is the Secretary of State of Georgia, and he says,
you're talking about that one.
I need you to find 11,780 votes. One more than what we... Why,
that is BS.
Why is it BS?
It's BS. Everybody seen the videos, okay? We've all seen the videos of sticking the ballots. You remember?
The videos that Trump took to court and they were shot down immediately?
We've all seen the videos in Georgia when they sent the poll watchers home and they went to the table, pulled out the suitcases out from under the table, and processed all the ballots through the machine.
Rudy Giuliani.
Repeated times.
So can I give you my point of view on this?
Listen, we've all seen the videos, okay? So you're trolling me now.
No,
you are. You really are. We know how dirty, okay, Governor Kemp is and Raffensperger are. Okay, go look at their donors. Go look at their donors.
So can I ask you?
I'm not from Georgia, so I can't comment on all their constitutional laws. Okay, as far as it goes on there. But listen, you're BSing.
I'm not.
So, you are. You are.
Genuine.
You are.
I'm being genuine.
No, you are. You're not.
So when Trump took this evidence that you're talking about to court, it was rejected by Republican-appointed judges.
You have corrupt judges. Right. We went to the
judges that Trump appointed.
We went to the Supreme Court in New Hampshire here, that appointed by the Governor Sununu. Okay, in this state. All right, all the Supreme Justices. Okay, and we have the law on our side. Okay.
All of the evidence you're talking about was brought to courts with
seen the video.
Republican.
We've seen the video.
But these were Trump.
We've seen the videos everywhere. I'm not just talking about videos. I was there on election day. Okay, I've seen the corruption. Okay,
I also worked the polls. I worked the polls on election day too.
I saw the corruption. Okay, and believe me, it was evident, and we brought the evidence, and nobody did nothing about it.
So you know that case you talked about where they pulled the suitcase out? We've seen that video, right? They pulled the suitcase out. So it's like a 5-10 second clip. You know how sometimes liberals take 5-second clips of Trump out of context? You know how sometimes liberals do that? They'll take clips of Trump out of context. Basically, what happened is this 5-second clip was out of context. They brought it to a court, and the judge, who was appointed by... Can I finish?
I'm done. Okay. I'm done now.
You're
because
done.
I'm going to go do a real interview so it can get on the air. Instead of wasting my time.
Well, I appreciate talking to you.
Okay?
Yeah. The funniest part is, about 5 minutes later, we saw him doing an interview with the guy from Real America's Voice, who happens to be Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend. So when he says, I'm going to go do a real interview, what he really means is I need to go find my way back into my echo chamber where my fragile beliefs won't be challenged by anyone, and I'm free to spew as much disinformation as I want. But next, we talked about January 6th and the implications of that, and I asked him at some point, where do you get your news from? What kind of media do you consume? And just listen to his answer. What do you think about January 6th, the riot of the Capitol?
Well, listen, everybody knows that President Trump asked for more National Guard, right? But Nancy Pelosi refused, right?
Donald Trump was in the White House, and he has direct control. He is the commander-in-chief, right? Donald Trump was the commander-in-chief.
It's her job to protect it. That was her job, the speaker, right?
But the commander-in-chief has control over the National Guard, has ultimate authority.
No, that's BS. It's all promulgated by the fake news media. You realize the fake news media, there's 6 companies, okay, that own over 90% of your media. Well over 90%, okay? And it's a controlled media pushing a controlled narrative, okay? Compared to 37 years ago, we had 50 companies, okay?
So can I ask you, what media sources do you trust personally?
I do my own research, my friend.
From where? Like what websites?
I can't tell you all my sources. I got a lot of sources.
A lot of sources, yeah.
Yeah, some of them I can't even tell you.
Nothing makes me more confident in somebody's political beliefs than them telling me that they can't even share their sources, which is code for I get everything off of Truth Social. But this guy was like a conspiracy theory machine, just spitting out every conspiracy in the book. And then he proceeds to list the names of politicians he believes are trying to bring down Donald Trump. And in this guy's mind, there's like this Avengers squad of politicians working behind the scenes to make sure that Donald Trump doesn't get back into office. I think this perfectly encapsulates this anti-establishment populist movement. He thinks that both sides are effectively the same and that they're working together to bring down Donald Trump, which is just so incoherent. I then ask him to define a Marxism and he can't even give me an answer. Let's watch this clip.
It's not just Joe Biden, okay? It's also the Bushes, the Clintons, Obama, okay? Mitch McConnell, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Kevin McCarthy, you name it, they're all in it. She has Marxist, Communist, Democrat, mega donor money, okay? Reid Hoffman, okay? And let's not forget, he's urging people, Democrats, to donate into the SFA PAC, okay? For Nikki Haley, all right? And on top of it, she's also has another massive donor, Jamie Dimon, the head of Chase Morgan.
What do you think, in your eyes, what's the definition of Marxism?
I mean, they're for power. That's what they want, power, money, and money's that's just that's not even an object. The money is for the power. They're sick on power.
So after I pushed back a little bit more, that dude decided to rage quit and walk out of the interview. But that interaction sort of reminded me of the phrase, when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object, and he was the immovable object. There was nothing I could have said in that moment to break through. But if you guys need a little bit of a palate cleanser from that dude and want to see a more wholesome interaction, I have one where I'm talking to this Trump supporter and I'm actually able to successfully move him towards our position slightly. I think it's really important that we have these Trump supporters interacting with fact patterns they otherwise would not be interacting with. And you'll see in this clip, I try to step into his frame of reference and try to use rhetoric that he was predisposed to agreeing with, and then I actually get him to understand where liberals are coming from. This is what America's about. It's about dialogue. It's about conversation. Those are the foundations of democracy. Before I play this clip, make sure you leave a like on this video. Make sure you comment if you want to see more. You can subscribe to my channel in the description below. It's called Adam Mockler. Let's play this clip.
Indoctrinating our children, you know, tell them it's okay to change their gender without telling their parents. And
Do you know what gender affirming care is?
yes,
Are you okay with American adults getting gender affirming care?
adults, sure.
Would you be okay with a 17-year-old getting gender affirming care if they went to therapy for 4 years beforehand? A psychiatrist, a doctor, and their family all said, to improve this person's quality of life, gender affirming care is the way?
Yeah, that would make a lot more sense than what they're doing now.
That's most of the time. See, people have this idea that kids are going and like getting surgeries or whatever on their own, but most
Behind
of
the parents' back.
I wouldn't agree with that either. Most of the time what happens is you need a consensus from psychiatrists, from doctors, after years of therapy. I think that's how it should be done, to go through the right way.
Absolutely.
Cool, so we can agree on that. Awesome.
Yes, sir.
What do you think about America's funding of Ukraine?
I think that it's not a bad thing to help them, but I think we need to know where the money's going and hold them accountable, because, you know, they haven't been the most upfront government.
Yeah, they're still trying to get away from the corruption that Russia planted in their system, but a lot of people think we're sending straight cash bags of money to Ukraine, but what's actually happening is we're sending old military equipment that's like are about to expire.
Depleting ours, though.
No, but in the process, we get to restock and repile that and create new American manufacturing jobs, which could boost the economy in a sense.
Yeah, I just think that we need to make sure that it's getting into the right hands.
Absolutely. So you'd be okay with, we can agree that Vladimir Putin is not a good guy?
Oh, absolutely.
So some people won't even admit that. They're like, oh, he's fine, blah, blah, blah. So the goal is to stop Vladimir Putin in his tracks when he tries to...
Absolutely.
Cool. And America, as one of the strongest countries in the world, we should probably be leading that charge.
Yes, sir.
Awesome, thank you. What we found is that if you go on Twitter, everybody hates each other and they think they're the enemy.
Yeah.
But when you and I talk, we kind of disagree. we have a good conversation.
Yeah, you need to have an educated conversation. I mean, there's two sides to every story. Everyone's not going to think the same. You know what I'm saying? That's where the country is screwed up, I think. It's not black and white all the time. We can have an educated conversation and come to an agreement, you know, some kind of middle ground.
That's my whole thing. And that's the beautiful thing about democracy. In some other countries like Russia, you and I might not be able to have this conversation.
Oh, no, we'll be locked up.